Spider-Man had to go on the ferry to stop an illegal weapons trade by the Vulture. He was on top of a building at a 48-degree angle. Before he went down to the ferry, Iron Man then comes to help him and is across Spider-Man at a 59-degree angle. Iron Man is 265 meters from the ferry and is waiting for the right time to attack. What is the measurement in meters of how far Spider-Man has to swing down to the ferry? What is the angle of the ferry to both Spider-Man and Iron Man? So now, you see on the screen there is a given and unknown table. We have a given of 48 degrees, 59 degrees, and 265 meters. Now for the unknown, there is an angle of the ferry to Iron Man and Spider-Man that we have to find. The meter Spider-Man has to swing to the ferry, and the meters away Spider-Man and Iron Man are. Now you have to create the scenario. So first draw a building where Spider-Man is going to be overlooking the Staten Island Ferry Pier, and then the ocean, and then you create your ferry, or a boat if you will. Now that you created your scenario, you have to input the characters. So you have one corner, which is for Spider-Man by the building, another section which is I for Iron Man, and we are going to label the ferry with F. Now, since Spider-Man is on the building at a 48-degree angle and Iron Man is at a 59-degree angle to the ferry, he is also 265 meters away from the ferry. We have to find out the angle of the ferry and the two missing meters. First off, we have to find the angle of the ferry. And with that, we will have to use 180, which is how much triangle is, minus 107, which is 48 degrees plus 59 degrees. So when you subtract 180 and 107, you will get 73 degrees, which is the angle of the ferry to Spider-Man and Iron Man. Now, we will have to find the missing angle of Spider-Man to the ferry, and we will use the law of sines. Since we have the 265 meters of Iron Man to the ferry and the 48-degree angle of Spider-Man to the ferry, using the law of sines, we do 265 divided by sine parentheses 48 times, since we don't have a given variable, we will just say x, over sine 59 degrees, which is Iron Man to where Spider-Man has to go. And with using the law of sines, get out your calculator and compute it by 265 divided by sine 48. You will have the value of x to equal 356 over sine 48 times sine 59. And get your calculator once again and compute it, and it will equal to 410 meters, which is the meters of where Spider-Man has to go to the ferry. Now we have to figure out the measurements of Spider-Man to Iron Man. Since we got 410 meters, we have to do it to 59. So 410 over sine 59, which is where Iron Man to the ferry is, the angle, times x, since there's no variable there, sine 73. Now, that is the angle of the ferry to both Spider-Man and Iron Man. Now get out your calculator once again and compute 410 over sine 59. Once you get it, you will do x equals and get 478 over sine 59 times sine 73. And once you divide and multiply those, you will get the missing meters, 533. Which is the meters that Spider-Man and Iron Man are across each other. Now we have all angles, which is 48 degrees, 59 degrees, and 73 degrees. And now we have all of our meters going across both to the ferry and to Spider-Man and Iron Man, which is 533 meters from Spider-Man to Iron Man, 265 meters of Iron Man to the ferry, and 410 meters from Spider-Man to the ferry. Now Tony Stark and Peter Parker, aka Iron Man and Spider-Man, have saved the day once again, showing that nothing is impossible and they can work together like a father and son. The end to this tutorial of